So much talk of fake news. Lara Trump, daughter-in-law of the president, is cutting through the noise of the mainstream media with her own online show. It's called Real News, produced right here in Trump Tower. I sat down with her to talk about it and what it's like to be a Trump.
Somebody painted this, somebody painted that. All of our different, we have like a crocheted flag that somebody made for us.
One-on-one with Lara Trump.
All of these items and in all of our offices are things that people, who support the president were so excited during the campaign that they made them and sent them in, and they're so special to us.
This is the Trump Tower office where she and her team prepare their segments.
Let's talk about Real News. How did this idea come about?
Well, I have a background in television news. I worked at Inside Edition for 5 years before I took time off to be part of my father-in-law's campaign. And now that I'm working with the campaign on a daily basis, we were putting out a newsletter every week just to inform people, here's what the president did this week. Because as you may notice, if you watch mainstream media, you get a very different picture of how the president's week went. And the reality is there's been so much accomplished by his administration this far that we felt like every week we want to make sure that everybody understands what, great things have happened.
Critics call it Trump propaganda. What do you say to them?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, the reality is these are concrete things that are being accomplished every week by my father-in-law's administration. And the reality is if we had a fair shake within the regular news cycle, we wouldn't feel the need to post this sort of thing.
In our candid conversation, Lara opens up on a number of topics.
If you had to use one word to describe the mainstream media, what would it be?
Liars. It's really sad because I worked in television news for a long time and I got such a different view of things.
When it comes to the recent violence in Charlottesville,
there are a lot of people who are upset with your father-in-law and they're labeling him as a racist, a bigot. Is that fair?
No, absolutely not. I think, the reality is, I said it before, the media spends a lot. They can take a completely innocent statement and change it around significantly. My father-in-law has been very clear that there's no room in this country for racism, for bigotry, for hatred like we saw in Charlottesville.
She tells me it's been a major adjustment in more ways than one since Trump took office.
Have you lost any friends over your father-in-law's politics?
I think we've all, I don't want to say we've lost friends, but we've definitely distanced ourselves or been distanced by friends. And I think it's the nature of the beast. When you get involved in politics, half the people love you and half the people hate you.
I'm curious, has faith played any role in how you deal with some of the toughness of the day-to-day?
Absolutely. I pray every night, always have, and I prayed throughout this campaign, for the safety of everyone in our family, because listen, there were some scary times for sure. I pray for the president every night, that he leads this country in the right direction. And I've said it so many times, actually, on the campaign trail. I heard every single day from people, we're praying for you, we're praying for your father-in-law, we're praying for your family. And I have to tell you, I think that God had a huge role in this election. And I, again, felt the whole time like I was fighting on the right side of the fight and that ultimately the right thing would happen. Although no one said he could win, I truly felt like the power of prayer was very real in this election. And I think it really did make a huge impact.
And she says her father-in-law shares that same faith.
If there's one story that the mainstream media is missing when it comes to President Trump, what do you think that is?
I just think his compassion gets lost a lot of times. He's a very direct guy. He's a very straightforward guy. He says exactly what he's thinking. He doesn't sugarcoat things, but he cares so much about this country, about the people of this country. He's a family man. He truly is. He's a man of God. He's always, his faith, I know, has always been important to him.
Lara, who's married to Eric Trump, is expecting her first child later this month. She tells me with the family now split between New York and Washington, family gatherings take on a special meaning.
I think when we're together, we don't even think about all the outside stuff. It's really such an important time for us to, as a family, just talk about the things that families talk about every single day. And maybe we'll plan a trip together soon, and those sorts of things. And it's nice that we're all still able to be, on that level. And it's very normal, very normal. I think people would be surprised to hear that, though.
And they've already created a lot of memories here at the White House. Lara told me the story about how she and Eric broke the news of her pregnancy to their family. It was here on Inauguration Day with the entire First family sitting around the formal dining room table. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.